Taking an early glimpse forward, who is going to be the breakout player of the 2020 fantasy football season? That is our topic for this, the last regularly scheduled program here of the Fantasy Football Survival Kit. We will be back at certain points, but we're not going to be back here weekly anymore. It's time for us to go away. But before we do, let's take a look at who some of the great breakout 2020 players could be. Obviously, a lot of dominoes have to fall before the season arrives, but we do want to get our, let's whet the appetite here a little bit. Let's take that initial look forward. And at the very end of the video, I will give you my pick for my personal breakout 2020 wide receiver. But stay tuned for that. Let's get into it. This first one comes in from @GoBlue, and it's Kyler Murray. I feel like every Fantasy Football Survival Kit episode in the second half of the season, I was honking about how exciting Kyler Murray was. And to be fair, there were few players more thrilling from an arm talent perspective than Kyler Murray when he really got rolling. But there is a small non-0% chance that Kyler Murray takes his game to the next level. The system comes together around him, and he takes that massive leap forward as a late round quarterback that becomes a weekly advantage. Next. This next one comes in from @BSummers10, and it's Deebo Samuel. I mean, this guy's already out on the playoff stage, bullying people around, barreling guys over, being that physical presence at the wide receiver position that the 49ers oh so wanted. But I will throw a little bit of cold water on his fantasy stock in 2020. You always have to be careful, no matter how excited you are about a player's talent, when they are not the number one target and they play on a run-heavy team. So be excited about Deebo, but not too excited. Next. This next one comes in from @Ali Mackin, and it's Anthony Miller. You could argue that Anthony Miller already started his breakout in the final quarter of the season when he started playing a lot of snaps, running a lot of routes, and most importantly, producing for your fake teams. I have said pretty much since Anthony Miller got drafted that this Doug Baldwin clone could pair with Allen Robinson to be an easy top 10 wide receiver duo in the NFL. What we don't know is who the Bears are going to be playing at quarterback in 2020. Next. This next one comes in from @Alex Honer, and it's Deante Johnson of the Pittsburgh Steelers. He was a guy that flashed some nice route running, some separation ability, and some quality speed. My question here, though, I think there is some talent to mine, but what is that Steelers offense going to look like next year? I mean, have you seen Big Ben lately? He looks like Ron Burgundy after he had his fall apart moment when he's drinking the milk on a hot day. We certainly won't be getting the Mason Rudolph-Duck Hodges duo on a weekly basis, but the Steelers have a lot of questions to answer before I project anybody for fantasy football greatness in 2020. Next. This next one comes in from @FFGuru234, and it's Ronald Jones of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You all have to learn to get a bad lover out of your life. When a running back has scorned you enough, block their number. Mute them on social media. Make it so that you don't see them anymore so you don't keep making the same mistake. They haven't changed. You gotta learn when to let it go, and Ronald Jones is not a thing anymore. Next. Yes, and speaking of not letting things go, I am not gonna give up on this breakout pick sent in from @A_loading. Curtis Samuel, my guy in 2019. It did not work out, but I think there's a chance. Let's just say there's a healthy Cam Newton under center, or God, anybody but Kyle Allen. Curtis Samuel has a lot of talent. He can separate, he can win the ball in the deep area of the field, and that was not gonna happen with a dust ball like Allen under center, but it very well could with someone else. There is still so many good things to mine out of this Panthers offense that we did not see last year. I am cautious optimistic about this offense and this player in 2020. Next. This next one comes in from @Minnesota You Bet. It's Andrew Luck. Okay, you gotta learn to let things go, unless it's Curtis Samuel. You gotta learn to let things go, okay? Andrew Luck, with a clear head, a clear mind, retired from the NFL. He let it go. You gotta learn to accept that too. His dad, you saw it. His dad even said that he's expressed no itch to return to football, and I believe that will remain the case. Next. This next one comes in from @Qs44, and it's Andy Isabella. Look, we started off this program by saying that Kyler Murray was going to take that next step as a fantasy quarterback. Well, it only stands to reason that if he does, he's going to have to drag along a few pass catchers with him. And Andy Isabella, the rookie from this past year, he flashed a little bit, but he's certainly a candidate to take that next step along with Murray. So if I played in a dynasty league or I was looking for a deep sleeper, I certainly would not give up hopes on Andy Isabella. Next. This one comes in from @David_Scone1, and it's John Ross. He's someone that we've seen the John Ross story. We know what that experience looks like. It's make some big plays in random spots, get hurt, go away for many months, come back and maybe sort of kind of do some things. It's hard to say, but in a new look offense with a new quarterback, maybe things change for John Ross. Maybe he officially slams down a starting spot and he just stays on the field. That's all it's going to take here for you, John Ross. Next. This next one comes in from @BeardedHK, and it's Michael Gallup. Now, I think you could argue, no, you can definitely argue that Michael Gallup already had his breakout season in 2019 for the Dallas Cowboys. However, I think it is also worth asking if there is another leap to be made here, and that is because Amari Cooper, is he going to be playing in Dallas in 2020? I mean, consider this. They kind of already started to burn that damn bridge at the end of the year. I know it's a new coaching staff, but also how much money is he going to want to make? But they also have to franchise tag Dak Prescott. I think he might get a better offer elsewhere. You just don't know, and for that reason, if Amari's not back in Dallas, that is a huge promotion for Michael Gallup, who had an awesome season last year. Next. This next one comes in from @JZenk42, and it's Mike Gesicki. Now, this former Penn State tight end started to pop along with the rest of the Dolphins offense to close 2019, but maybe there is yet another stage of his evolution to come. Maybe that all that athleticism is going to boil up to the top. These Dolphins they're kind of exciting, you know? And I think Mike Gesicki, maybe it was just a little bit of a slow burn, but you know we're always thirsty for breakout tight ends, and for that reason, this guy is going to be a popular player next. This next one comes in from @Ed220, and it's Marquise Hollywood Brown. Now, if you watch that playoff loss that my producer here, Gustav, called it for weeks.
One and done.
So frustrating that he was right about that. So frustrating. Anyways, if you watched that game, you did see Marquise Brown haul in a great one-handed catch, one of those super impressive plays that he is absolutely capable of making. There's so much physical talent here and so much route running precision with Marquise Brown. He can absolutely be one of the best receivers in the game. He just has to stay healthy. Frankly, it's patently insane that Lamar Jackson had the passing efficiency type of season that he did, all while Brown wasn't popping for a full 16-game slate. If we see this guy play a full complement of games and snaps in 2020, the potential here is really beyond our comprehension, and I hope he helps Lamar take that next step forward next. This next one comes in from @Sean_Underhill, and it's not even a current NFL player. It's Joe Burrow, the national champion from LSU, the Heisman winning quarterback. But let's slow down a second, folks. I know that Joe Burrow was an absolute passing maven at the college football level, and he may very well be a great NFL quarterback, but to ask him to be a breakout fantasy player in year one on the Bengals roster as the #1 overall pick, that's a lot to ask, okay? Let's let this thing marinate for a little bit. Let's not put all these expectations on the guy, and let's just be happy to welcome him into the NFL ranks. Next. This next one comes in from @VictorSald, and it's Mecole Hardman. Get Sammy Watkins out of my life. I don't need to see any more Demarcus Robinson miscues at the catch point, okay? What I do need to see is the real speed that this guy brings to the table right alongside Tyreek Hill. I mean, that is so much vertical potential in one offense. Get this talented guy on the field, please. Next. And this last one comes in from @49er since '88, and it's Baby Yota. I know, but stick with me here for a second. You want to find that Baby Yota of the 2020 fantasy season, that guy that no one else sees coming. I mean, we definitely didn't see Baby Yota coming because Disney didn't even let us see him. So you want to find that person that no one else sees coming, and you want to find the fantasy player that absolutely takes the internet by storm, just like Baby Yota did. I want to use this moment to tell you to find something like Baby Yota that interests you outside of football. Football season is over. I don't want to see you out there arguing on Twitter about running back value or these pointless debates that just go on all off season. Don't let it consume your entire life. I just want to use that as a reminder to you, but most importantly, a reminder to me to clear your mind at the end of this football season. So that is going to do it for the regularly scheduled season finale of the Fantasy Football Survival Kit. I hope you all have enjoyed being here with me, communing with each other, continuing to get each other through this 2019 fantasy season. And now we have only 2020 to look ahead to. And on that note, here at the final moment, I will now reveal that my breakout player for the 2020 fantasy season, my wide receiver pick of the year, is